So releasing your grounding into the earth, sinking some new grounding. And then let's just shake out. Shake everything. It resets the nervous system. Deep in your knees, and you shake out your legs. Yeah, shake out your hips. Let's just roll our shoulders. Breathe in as they go up. Breathe out as they go down. Movement that Katrina's been moving toward. Let's just twist and lift the opposite foot. Better for the back. And each time go a little bit further. Breathing in as you come forward, breathing out as you go back. You can let your back hand just touch your adrenals. Just a little tap, light tap. Beautiful. And deepen your knees and let your pelvis just move in a circle. If you can let the pelvis free itself up. I want to do this Egyptian cleansing and Egyptian balancing breath. So many of you have done this with me over the years. So you start with building energy in your hands. Feel the love from your heart coming into your hands. Then we're going to do the bellows breath. So the belly comes in and out. Imagine you can grab earth energy and that kundalini, bring it up through your core, keep the shoulders relaxed, all the way up and out your crown. Let your hands form a pyramid. Bring your light down your core. Gather earth energy and the life force. Bring it up through the core, all the way up and out the crown. Connect to your light, hands in a pyramid, bring your light down. Once more. Earth energy, life force, all the way up. It feeds and nourishes all the organs as it comes through the core. Hands in a pyramid, bring your light down. We're going to do the same thing, only I feel when we have things like what happened this week, we really need to really clear our aura. So when we get to the top, we're going to go, ha! Like that. Make sure you got room. It won't hurt your hands. Okay, so let's build some more energy. Bellows breath. energy up, Kundalini. Bring it all the way up through the core. Keep the shoulders relaxed, all the way up, out the crown. And bring your light down. Ha! Yeah. And again, calling up the energy, life force, earth energy, all the way up. Connecting with your light. Ha! Earth energy, Kundalini, through the core. And as you bring your light down, let everything go. Ha! Yeah, yeah. Ha. And the short form is ha, 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 ha. In your light, bring in your whole energy and being. Take up residence in your core. Feel your grounding, your new roots deep into the earth. Ah. Bring that grounding back to sitting. Notice how you feel now compared when you first got up. Breathe, imagine your light spirals down your core, breathing in that which is essentially you, breathing out all else. Allowing your presence, your essence, to take up residence in your core. Can you feel your whole inner flute? For access, you can bring up your earth energy, the upward spiraling serpent, let it weave around your chakras. Letting go of all that is unnecessary on the out breath. Resources from the earth, breathing out toxins. Deep as your roots are deep, open your branches into your multidimensional nature, into your being. You have deep roots and high branches, and you're focusing in the core of the body, the trunk of that system. Angels clear anything in your upper chakras. It's not serving you, everyone else's ideas about spirituality or outmoded enculturation, whatever is unneeded. Your light flow in, down through your chakras, the downward spiraling serpent, weaving around the chakras. Hmm.
Can't hear you, Evelina. No, can't hear you now.
Hear me up till this moment.
Now I can hear you.
It's a mystery. One of the Zoom mysteries. So, dear ones, welcome, welcome. I have gotten more and more excited all this week of who else is joining us, and I'm thrilled with this group. It just feels so right. So we're going to take the next while and check in. I'd love for you to share your name and where you live, and and then whatever defines you, whatever would allow us to know more about you, and especially what you're passionate about. Okay? So your name, where you live, what defines you, and what you're passionate about. All right? And what we do, just to make it easier, is whatever order we go in the first time is the order we use for these 3 hours. So who would like to start? Lou? And I want the rest of you to just tune in to whether you're meant to be next, so we don't have to wait each time. Get the signal a little ahead of time. Lou?
I'm Lou. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, although I've been in California this week visiting my son and some friends. Um, I want to mention that I now hold the longevity prize because this I've been in all four. This is the fourth one. I'm the only one that's lasted to now. Um, and it's been a wonderful, important experience for me. And what defines me is I'm almost retired from practicing medicine, and what has let's see, I have tended to be defined by the my joy and immersion in parenting and taking care of small children and infants, and my my son is about to start his own medical practice as I'm about to leave mine, and it's been a challenge because the business thing for him is very difficult, doesn't come naturally, and I'm right in the middle of like staying clear and staying in my own light and how to respond to his suffering. And I've been walking that line. Um, and I've been doing a lot of exploration the last year or two. Um, Expressive meditative dance is a passion. I do a lot of five rhythms dance, and And a lot of things have opened up through Evelina and other teachers around the world in the last year. All of a sudden, there's access to everyone. And so just continuing to move toward more inner freedom, healing, more presence in my body. And life is good.
Great. So what we love to do is sparkle people when they share, sending our love, just letting it come out through your heart and your hands.
I've missed that.
Hmm. Who's next?
I can go.
Okay.
I'm Rhea. This is my second time around, and I'm really excited to be here again. I live in Cotati, California, which is Northern California. I'm not there at the moment. I'm actually closer to Santa Cruz in Portola Valley at the moment. I would say what defines me is my I am ever changing. I got sort of stressed out by the word of what defines me, and my answer was I'm ever changing. And I would say that's also what I'm passionate about more and more, especially in the last 5 or so years, where I've felt a momentum toward whatever this vertical ascent expansion that is before me, and I don't know exactly what that is, and I love the exploration. I would also say what also came to me is like I would define my presence here through my heart and through my hands. I've just been really feeling I'm in healthcare as well, and I'm sort of at a crossroads professionally. And I realized I can't do anything where my hands aren't on bodies. So thank you.
Hmm. Beautiful. You ready? Hmm.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I forgot one important thing about one of the things that defines me for the new people. I am Henna's husband also.
Happily so. Great. Laura?
I can go next.
Great.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lara. I'm just soaking in each of your faces. It's really nice to just take a moment to look at the familiar faces. This is my second time with this group. And I'm in Sebastopol, California, Northern California, not too far from Rhea. I had a big resistance with the question, what defines you? And I think there's a place where I don't want to be defined, I guess. There's like a resistance to, it's like I want to eke out the subtle difference between defining and labeling and, you know, feeling like if I define myself, then I'm stuck there. I would say open-heartedness defines me. love. I'm a home birth midwife of 25 years, but I've worked really hard over the last few years to undo that identity. It became such a strong identity for me, and I wanted to allow for the emergence of all the other parts of me that are not simply just a midwife. It became such a strong identity. I've never wanted to label myself. I think if there's one defining quality, it's freedom. Like, that's what I value, is freedom. Freedom from all kinds of things, but freedom is sort of the essence. I'm also a body worker, so I suppose that could be a little bit of a defining. I really resonate with what you said, Rhea, about just feeling that there is so much that these hands want to do and have the energy and the love to do. And so I'm in a huge transition in my life. I think I'm phasing out of being a midwife, although I'll always be a midwife in my heart. But I feel, not but, and I feel that there's more global work for me to do, and I haven't quite gotten myself to exactly what that looks like. But I know it involves freedom and love. So I think that covers it. I may have to leave partway through our call today. I'm hoping that things will be settled, but I'm assisting another midwife at a birth, and that mama's in labor. So anyway, thank you. It's really nice to be with you all. And yeah, I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
You ready for some loving?
Oh, yeah.
Feels so good to be received. Yeah. We're just asking the universe to allow that birth to wait just enough, if it's right for everyone.
Just a few hours.
And who's next?
I'll go next. We'll go through the tradition of the old timers. It's really lovely to see some of the familiar faces again. I've missed you guys and missed our sessions over the break. I guess this will be my third time around. And Lou actually introduced me to Evelina's work. So I'm grateful to him for that. And I've really loved some of the channeling work that we've done together as a group. It's been a really healing experience to be part of this group for me. So thank you. Let's see. Yeah, like Rhea and Laura, I had trouble with define. I'll talk about what's important to me and what my passions are. So these days, what's really important to me is presence. And I am just a little bit of background, 20 years in corporate America, 10 years with my own business. And I'm now really exploring for the next 10 years what sacred presence can do in terms of making the world a better place. I'm exploring that in my work as an executive coach, bringing that sacred presence to my clients and with their teams. I'm also exploring, that would be the topic of my next book, which is my third book. And yeah, that's what, and I'm also exploring that for me, just living outside of all the habitual patterns that we all have. and seeking new possibilities and living in flow from a place of presence. And that's why I think the work that we've been doing with Evelina has been really useful for me, because I've sought to bring the channeling and the guides and live from that place. And that would really be my kind of, if I had to have a dream, that would be my dream, is to live from that place of presence.
Beautiful. Ready for some loving? And I want to name two people who were in the group, Mandy and Bree, are wanting to join maybe the next one. So they'll likely be back. So who's next? Lisa?
Hi, I'm Lisa. I moved to Asheville, North Carolina about a year and a half ago, and met Evelina in a networking group. And it was, it was meant to be. So I think about what defines me. I had to shake that out a little bit myself. I signed up to be an eternal learner. I'm an eternal student with my sun and moon in the 9th house. So that's, it's a blessing. I have to be able to use it to take action. So that's one of the things that that's important to me. And so what I'm passionate about is creating space for women to find their voice, and to be able to be their authentic selves and to be who they want to be, not what everybody else wants them to be. And that's, I've also transitioned from being an occupational therapist to a brick and mortar business for massage therapy to expanding into coaching. And so I'm in that creation mode at this point. And that's one. And so it's like gathering all the tools together and pulling something together to create that connection for women is my aim. This is my first time here, and so I'm really excited to be part of this group. Thank you.
Some loving. Yes?
Yes.
Report.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, breathe it in. And some things to take personally.
Thank you.
Mhm. I am timing, but we're staying under the time mostly, so that's great. Next,
Hello,
Katrina.
it was Danya.
Oh, Danya.
Hello. Oh,
Let's do Danya and then Katrina.
okay. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So my name is Danya de Marseille, and I'm in Marseille, France. Evelina and I met in California. I was born in New York City and raised in the Bronx. I think that's part of what defines me. Someone once described me as having big city savvy, and I'm proud of that. I was teaching in California for 13 years, and when I started out, I swore I would only do it for 5. And before that, I had a career as a teaching artist, teaching dance and teaching theater. And that's something that I'm very passionate about. Using our body as a means of expression is something that I'm dedicated to. I trained as a dynamic embodiment somatic movement therapist in 2000. And so I can relate with everyone that has spoken about the healing of hands and just how important that feels, and what a drag it is that we can't do that with the ease that we once had. So I had been unhappy in the United States for a long time and had been telling the universe it was time to go. And so I'm in France now. And the confinement just really helped me to see how important dance is in my life, and that I need to bring joy, help people to tap into joy in the face of fear right now. Part of what defines me is that I am a fourth generation medium. My family comes from Puerto Rico, and it was just a regular practice to sit on Friday night at the white table with the candles and the flowers and the prayers, and the ancestors would come with messages. And so part of what my curiosity is how is that different from channeling? Because clearly there's some boundary that's maintained. And so that's something that I am curious about. But I'm just happy to be in this group. I was in a 6-month group with Evelina, and I met her in 2011. And that was part of what helped me to arrive in this space of loving and appreciating myself and my body, and learning that it's okay to set boundaries, and that it's actually really important to, and that you can respect yourself more when you set boundaries. So that's just been huge, and that's something that I want to share with more people in the world. When I was 3 years old, I was crowned to the goddess Oshun in the Lukumi Yoruba tradition, which comes from West Africa and was brought to Cuba. And so this goddess of sensuality and the fresh waters and of music and dance and the life of the party has always lived with me. And that's part of why I have to do this work related to the body and the healing of the body, and in particular to help folks who have experienced sexual abuse. And so that's why Tantra is such a gift that I want to share with you.
Great. You ready for some loving?
Sure.
Beautiful. Katrina. Not hearing.
Huh?
Now
Can
we
you
are.
hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, I think I have to speak up a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I had to really like what defines me. I think I like what I feel passionate about. And I feel really passionate about conscious embodiment. And I love being in nature, movement, dance, working with bodies, helping other people find their conscious embodiment. I've been a body worker for 32 years, working with my hands, which right now has been compromised. I've worked on and off, but with the COVID thing, it's been very, it's a very sensitive situation with that, working with people directly. I'm also a mom of a 15-year-old wonderful daughter. I'm passionate about relationship and consciously being in relationship with, conscious communication and deeper connection in a way that's real. I've known Evelina for probably over 20 years now, and so we've back and forth back into each other's lives, and so right now we're back here in Asheville together, And so I'm excited to be in this course, and I really want to deepen in my intuition. It's something I've been a long time meditator, and so that's something I feel really passionate about, is like listening, listening inside. And I've been listening with my hands all my life, and I get a lot of, like, my hands know. And so I'm trying to, especially with not being able to do as much hands-on work, I'm trying to find ways to really hone other ways of listening when I can't actually touch. And so I was working with Evelina some one-on-one, and so it feels really right to be here in this group. And I'm excited to see, and I'm happy to hear so many of you have continued with this course. So I'm excited to see what will unfold. This feels already like a really sweet group.
Beautiful. You ready for some loving?
Yes.
Breathe it in. Power in these hands. I want to say, when I got here, I was so pleased to have a massage with Katrina, and I've discovered she's the best massage therapist I've ever had. So I see her every 2 weeks, and I'm so blessed by her work. Her hands just know exactly where to go, and she's really opening up my body. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, so I guess it's my turn. I'll just start by saying I'm extremely jealous of those of you who live in Asheville and have access to Katrina that way. I used to back in the day when we were both living in California, but I'm Brianna. I'm in the Hudson Valley in New York, but I lived in the Bay Area for over 20 years, which is where I met Evelina and Katrina many, many moons ago. And have had the blessing of a very, very wonderful, close friendship with Katrina all these years. And Evelina is newly back in my life. Let's see. Yeah, defined. Not my favorite word. But I would say I was just this morning writing out all the stuff I was offering to the divine, I started out by saying, well, you know what's in my heart even better than I do. So maybe I don't need to say, but then I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And really my passion is like day to day, moment to moment, to be able to get out of the way and listen and surrender and follow the guidance of what wants to come through me. And a lot of times that looks like it can be writing, it can be painting, it can be dance, it can be channeled singing, it can be tap on the shoulder. There's this property in New Mexico that this nonprofit needs to buy, and you need to give them the money to do it. It can be move from California to New York. It can be like, it's been my journey over the last at least 2 decades of learning more and more and more how to trust and listen to that guidance. And yet you would think after all this time that I would totally trust it, but I don't. So part of what I'm here for is to build that trust even more. And I would say that the threshold that I'm at is that I trust it, but I don't trust that trusting it is safe. Like, I do trust it on some level, but there's still a lot of doubt that that's a good idea. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I am not one of those who's gifted with the hands-on and the energy. Like a lot of time when you say sense kundalini I have to go or imagine, like I have to add in the phrase or imagine, because I'm not one of those that senses and sees and all the chakras and the energy and the kundalini. I'm not that. I feel it in my body when something's moving through me, but I can't always do that on demand. Like it comes when it comes, and then I can't go, okay, now I'm going to sense kundalini rising in my body. I don't know how to do that. So I imagine when you put us through those things. Yeah. So, and I live alone. I by choice right now. I do have a love in California, in a very unconventional long-term, long-distance relationship. And that's been a big question for me. Like, is there something different, more new that wants to come in along with what are my next marching instructions for where to focus my energy and my resources?
All right, ready for some loving? Hmm. Hmm. So glad you're here. So glad all of you are here. I think it's really funny. At the last moment, I changed what I was going to say to that defines you. And you're all experiencing what I experience, which is all this energy in Aquarius. So with Saturn at 0 degrees Aquarius and Jupiter and Mars squaring it, nobody wants to be defined. Nor do I. And at the same time, I think it was really interesting what each of us did with it. You know, really kind of, well, what's important to say about me, which is what I wanted. And what defines me is probably my rebel nature. I resist definition by anyone else. And I kind of play that edge between expanding fully into everything I'm asked to be and kind of oh, are you sure? Can I? There's still kind of a questioning. But it's not because I'm not open to what I am now. It's because I keep getting invited to the next level and the next level and the next level. And just in the last 2 weeks, Babaji has asked me to take on the mantle of his truth. With a scarf, when I put it on, it's like, whoa. It's there's an us now sharing truth, and so I just keep getting invited to expand up, expand out, and live from there. And I'm passionate about this group. And I'm passionate about the recording I did yesterday. The talk I did yesterday was exquisite. So I'd love to share that with you. But right now, I'd love some loving. My turn. Thank you. So yesterday I talked at the Feminine Frequency Conference, and it's still going today. I think you all got an email about it. And if you sign up, you're eligible to receive the talk. It's actually on the Facebook group, but you have to scroll way down because every half hour there's someone else. And some good talks and some all kinds. Um, but this was the most extraordinary channeling I think I've ever done. Babaji and I kind of plotted out what we wanted to say about how to collaborate with spirit and open to your quantum nature. And I had 20 minutes. It was packed. All kinds of tools and tips and techniques, and then a 5-minute meditation of opening to your quantum self. So you might want to go find that. And then there was a free gift, and so I did a video on activating the new human. It's a 25-minute video with about a 20-minute guided piece about really ascending into your higher dimensions. So I just got it done and got it on that site, and I'm not sure what else we'll do with it, but it will be available soon. So I'm I'm really stoked. That's the new level.
That was the meditation that I did today, Evelina.
Did you? How was it?
It was good. I kind of went up and then came back down and went up and came back down, and I think that's just sensing that,
Yeah.
and trying to regulate it, or just be mindful of it. It's good.
Yeah. That's what we do. We open to the higher realms and come back down. I was having an ecstatic experience yesterday, and all of a sudden I started thinking about work. It's like, whoa, I really took myself out of that quick. You know, we have to kind of increase our tolerance for more light and more ecstasy. And to me, it's just go there often so that you can build that tolerance. I wanted to speak a little bit about what I'm seeing as the connection between dissociation and empathy. And I really see it in light of what happened this week, the insurrection in the Capitol. I see that I've experienced that people who are more dissociative, who've had a lot of very severe abuse, when they see something like that, they merge with it. And so one of the people I've worked with for 30 some years, she was just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to live. She was in such despair and she couldn't even find her center. And then I recalled that the minute COVID hit, she was the same way. So what I'm seeing with her and others is that part of the coping system is for the kids, and it's more lower chakras. The kids go out, child goes out, their energy goes out to watch the father or the perpetrators and to try to predict when it's going to happen again and be prepared for it. And so when something like this comes, those those young aspects from the lower chakras go and merge with it and bring it in. And I've seen it many times with the people who've been the most wounded of just merging with the pain of the world. Then we'll do a session, we'll clear it all out of their field and help them bring their energy back in. And I may have mentioned earlier in one of these groups, I worked with someone who we now have discovered is a ritual abuse survivor. So she was constantly trying to get safe. And I asked her, so how wide is your auric field right now? Because she was feeling like she was being attacked from everywhere. And she says, oh, it's wide. And I said, how wide? Well, about a block. So everything that was happening in a block in every direction was happening in her auric field. When we got her auric field in, she wasn't being attacked anymore. So I think it's a really important thing to watch when you're working with people, to see how much you can support them in bringing their energy into their center. I also worked with someone this week who, after 24 years of marriage, realized she was with someone who was blaming and shaming, and she said, he even ridiculed me on my honeymoon. And she just kind of been impervious to it because she was used to it. So her energy, she was really not able to find her center. And I've seen her before in her center in a beautiful way. I worked with her 20 years ago before this. She got into this marriage very far. So we did a soul retrieval, brought back her energy from one of the scenes. And then we just had her really come fully into her core, which she was able to do, and really inhabit her core, and then magnetize all these other aspects in. And the mother goddesses just go into the past and gather up the energies from all the scenes and release the chaos to the past and gather all the energies into the heart and into the core. You know, in shamanism, when a power ally brings a part of the soul back, they blow them into the heart and they blow them into the crown. Sometimes it's that way, and sometimes it's the mother goddesses bringing them through space and time. We just kept saying, all of you through space and time, all the way through space and time into, what was the day, whatever, yesterday, January 11th, 2021. And it was like just reconstituting a core self that had rarely been there. I think it's really important in these times of great chaos. And it's going to get rougher riding before it gets better. I was just reading about the next month, and we've got Saturn and Jupiter at 0 degrees Aquarius. Some call it the beginning of the Aquarian age, but you know, ages take many, many years to begin. But it's another signal of going into Aquarian age. Mars is square, so it's activating that, making it more dynamic. Then Mercury will join, and by the 21st, by the 20th, my birthday, the Sun joins, and then Venus. So there's a party at 0 degrees Aquarius right on top of my Sun. I'm in the middle of the party, and it's like, whoa! It is shifting foundations for all of us. And these are the end times. For hundreds of years, these times have been predicted, and I counted back at 35. Whoops, turn off my notifications. At 35, I first started studying the Warriors of the Rainbow. You can find that book. It's a great book about these times. The Hopi prophecies about these times, Nostradamus. So old structures are dissolving. We don't know what's going to evolve out of this dissolution. But what we can work with is how to be responsible in a time of not knowing. So I was talking about these people taking it in, that's being reactive. I don't want to be reactive. I don't want to join the problem. I want to be a part of the solution to the problem. And you know, what I know is there's so much disagreement about what's going on. I think a lot of the theories have truth in them, and a lot of them have not truth. And, you know, there could be a nefarious beginning of this virus. It's mutating. Viruses do, but it's mutating fast and getting more deadly. So it's real, whatever the origin. And what I want to do is not put my mind to so much what's true and not true as what's my role? How can I be responsive in a way to be responsible to what I came here to do? It's pretty obvious to me with all this happening at 0 degrees Aquarius that I am called on duty. And that's part of producing this video of activating the new human, because the only way out is up. us who go up, the more of us who open like we're opening to these higher dimensions of ourselves, the more we're able to bring the species along. I think of it as, there's the bell curve in everything, and where we're working is way out here in the most rarefied energies of how can we keep transmuting ourselves, evolving. And as we do, it's kind of like we're pulling the whole bell curve to a brighter version of this species, the Homo luminous or Homo noeticus that's wanting to get birthed. So I encourage each of you to just go, what's mine to do? We can, I mean, I went into watching this news show and that, or this bit of news and that bit because I wanted to learn everything. And then I realized we're just recycling the images, it's recycling the fear. So I want to step out and go, okay, and go to prayer. So even as I was hearing it on Wednesday, I immediately go to prayer. I just want to go, God, Goddess, this is not allowed. Get this handled, keep our people safe, to pray for the outcome that we want. Because when we're anchoring that, then the light has access to where it needs to work. And the light requires permission. So I would say my prayers on behalf of all humanity. We require that this chaos be cleared and that those who would be destructive, I'm not sure what I was saying, it was brilliant in the moment, but inviting that the destructive energy fades so that the new order is coming in. And then I read about the astrology for January 20th, the day of the inauguration, and it's called volcanic, bombastic. So I just want us all to really be on duty and really call for peaceful transition, call for amazing miracles. And I've been asking for 2 months for a birthday present of Trump finding his own way out and leaving and being gone and allowing the Bidens to be installed. And we'll see. I'm not seeing clients that day. I just want to be available, on duty, for whatever we need. So, I wrote some notes. I don't know if I covered them. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, when I feel, so I was talking about those who have learned to be so vigilant that they send their energy out. When I experience something happening that is toxic, I notice I tighten my field, and especially right over the dantian. So this is where a lot of people take the energy in, right here. That chakra's receptive. So I might just put my hand there, or both my hands, and I really tighten my field around the tribal chakras, which is where we take in people's pain, and then expand my heart and expand into my being. So it's like closing the first chakra is about 80 or 90%, and the second about 80%, and the third about 60%, and then opening the upper chakras. So I'm available for spirit to work through, but I'm not available to run the pain or the chaos or the despair or the hatred or whatever it is. So I'd love to just get any responses. Is this helpful? Any questions?
I have a question. Can you remaining open and feeling safe? And what I do is try to remain in my central channel, and sometimes I'll create like a bubble around me. But I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit more about that.
That's the safest place to really be in your central channel. Um, a bubble around is excellent. I think our role is to really build a strong, subtle body field, a very strong auric field, that we don't take things in. But I can also ask Archangel Michael to wrap his wings around me. This one that her energy would go out so much to other people, the ritual abuse survivor. The last time we worked with clearing energies, we had Archangel Michael, about 6 of him, with his shield facing out above, to each side, behind, and in front, just to create that safety. But sometimes just asking the angel wings to wrap around you can to help you stay sovereign so you're available. I also, if I'm with someone and their energy feels toxic, I might ask Divine Mother to stand between me and them. And when I was teaching workshops, if there was someone that it would have been awkward not to hug, but I didn't want their energy, I'll say, Divine Mother, please take this hug. And she just slips this little thin self in between, and she's receiving the hug, and I'm not. So it's really being conscious of your right to choose. Did that
Thank
answer?
you.
Good. Anyone else?
I have a question about prayer. Um, as that day was unfolding, I also went to prayer. But I realized, especially at the end of the day, when I saw what got triggered by that attack,
Mm-hmm.
that it was necessary, that that attack actually activated something very important
Mm-hmm.
and made blatant what was under the surface that everybody was trying to not see.
Yes.
And so there's a way in that I don't I don't feel like I know what's the highest good for what's supposed to unfold. You know what I like, even with Biden and Georgia and all of that, I would always be couching it in the terms of if that's for the highest good, because I don't know really. And I don't know if that's weakening the prayer or if it's opening the prayer. Like I don't always know what to pray for. So I give it my best shot and then I'd say, or whatever is for the highest good, because is that, I don't know. How do you handle that?
If I'm praying for someone else, I almost always complete with, as it serves the highest good of myself, all concerned, and the universe. So be it, and so it is. I think it's really important to include for the highest good. I don't know either. You know, in some ways, I mean, I would have prayed away COVID if I could, and yet so many people are awakening that wouldn't have taken time to look at themselves before to awaken. So it's really supporting the Great Awakening. And it was always predicted that at the time of the Great Awakening, there would be pestilence, there would be plagues, worldwide um, pandemics. So it seems part of it. And yes, I think the outcome is that more and more people have left that really radicalized place. And there may be more opportunity now for change to happen. So I don't need to know what's right, but I do want to vote on behalf of people being able to come from their hearts and live from their light. And so I feel that that's for the highest good. But I don't want to feel like like I need to figure out how it should go. And that's part of why I say these are the end times. I don't think we're going to know. You know, I it's all working out, and the old order is crumbling, and I'm not quite sure what that means. But I know that I'm here for it. Yeah. I don't want to pray for someone and take on their karma. You know, it's the same when I'm praying for an individual. I want to offer the prayer to their higher self to be received as needed, and really not just send energy to them without their permission, but send it to their higher self and ask for the highest outcome for them rather than try to impress my will. And I kind of take my guidance from the council because they only help if they're asked. You know, they don't try to make things happen. Laura?
I'm not sure I have a question per se, but one of the things that feels really poignant to me, I mean, I have been thinking about everything that you've just talked about and the higher purpose of COVID and the higher purpose of what happened at the Capitol and the unearthing of what has always been there that we just couldn't see. And so what I'm noticing and what I find, there's a couple of things that I find really challenging. And ultimately, I just come back to myself and my own relationship with spirit and my own knowing. And one of the things that happened during COVID for me is that I've really worked to 150% come into what is true for me as opposed to anything external. And I feel this polarization. I mean, there's so much polarization, but even within my own friend circles, like people that I love dearly, I feel like there are conversations that I just cannot have with them. It doesn't feel safe to me. And I want to be an expression of my full self. And there's like micro and macro polarizations that I see happening all over the place. And it's almost like the mass of people are existing in a two-dimensional field, and it's becoming more and more black and white or polarized. And then for me, and I assume others, like-minded others, I'm like marrying the gray area. You know, I'm like having a love affair with the unknown. You know, tell me what I don't know. Come back to this place of I don't know anything. You know, I know what I know in my heart, but ultimately I don't know what the answers are. And I think that, and I'm okay with all of that. It's not like there's a struggle, but there's a little bit of a sadness in the isolation of being in this perspective. And it's incredible. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else because I believe that this is my path and my path is to ascend. Otherwise, I wouldn't be where I am right now. But it's a little bit isolating, like even with close friends, not being able to have conversations because I feel like there's this jump to assumption. like I'm a conspiracy theorist, or, oh, you're just listening to all those people out there. And it's like, no, I'm actually not. I'm really listening to myself. And this is what's true for me. And so, in answering my own sort of quasi question, I'm seeking out groups like this and people like you and people like all of you in this group and other realms in my life. And that's where I find the nourishment and the like, oh, yes, this is right. This is true for me. Other people see it too. And I suppose it's a piece of my own personal unraveling and trusting that as much as I trust the higher power of COVID, I'm trusting the higher power of this almost like a separation from people that I absolutely adore and love, and just don't feel like I can be myself because I then almost become the threat. Does that make sense? I know that was a lot of verbiage right there.
Totally does. Yes.
Yeah.
I experience it too,
Mm-hmm.
and I've struggled with how much do I share, like on social media or
Mm-hmm.
in circles. And I notice that my guidance keeps having me not take sides.
Mm-hmm.
Early on, I saw some videos I really wanted to share, and I just keep getting talk about the light, talk about solution, talk about what people need,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to add to the polarization.
Mm-hmm.
And I too feel sad there are people I can't really have a conversation with around some of this. And I think that's part of this
Mm-hmm.
changing of structures. And I just want to say all those planets are working on it.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to get freed up. We just came through all this Capricorn energy where I think people got more stuck in their positions. And now it's moving into Aquarius, and Uranus is going to come into it too. And
Yes,
gonna
Tanya.
just, like it's going to be set on fire.
Yeah.
So, I want to stay in the middle of the path. And it's served. There's a group, New Culture, that there's a whole controversy going on around this stuff. And on Saturday, we're doing a forum. And because I haven't been part of any polarization, I get to be one of the two people leading it.
Mm.
So my neutrality has allowed me to really serve a group that good thinkers, but they're really going at it. So I just think it allows us to stay more available
Mm-hmm.
by letting it be your private truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you say that, it's sort of like, and this is an edge for me because this was my role. I'm an only child, and this was my role with my parents, but I was the equalizer.
Uh-huh.
And I'm primed to be an equalizer. I can almost always see both sides. Almost, not always, but I have this capacity to be able to really understand all points of view and like keep open about it.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of an edge there because I think I just hold my own boundaries is the answer. I hold my own center and I protect myself, and I can still be an equalizer without being merging or taking on other people's energies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm about ready to bring this to a close. Does this feel complete? Good. So I have a question, and then we'll take a break and come back and bring in the Council of 12. So we do this thing of indicating your interest in something by moving your hand in your screen. So we've done a lot in the last group of using part of the next segment where we each get a chance to do some channeling. I've explained that to everyone, I think. So how interested are you? A little bit, some, yeah, or a lot in using this next time for some channeling? Where are you with it? Okay. So my read is to do some, and we'll see what the council wants to say. And let's take a bio break, about 5, 7 minutes, and come back. Someone on duty for that. So, council here inviting each of you sitting at the sanctuary of your heart, near the altar, at the altar in your heart, receiving a symbol of the evolution you seek. And then call upon the light from Source to shine upon that symbol, as if these beautiful rays of light come right from the quantum realms and shine upon that symbol. And then allow yourself to look up into that light as if your eyes could travel up to your third eye. And you can look into the light. And while you stay in your core and your grounding, you also expand into the chakras beyond your crown. So you're getting taller. Deep roots, tall into these layers of your soul that already exist and have wisdom for you. So ascending is it's never about leaving, or rarely about leaving your body. It's about being embodied so you're helping your this incarnation ascend, because your soul's already ascended. You know, and you can just go up into the light and be in your soul, leave the body behind, and nothing changes. But if you want your life ascending, then you feel that deep rootedness, you feel the core, and you expand into the light beyond. And you just say to your guides and to spirit, to the council, lift me up. I ask that you elevate my consciousness into its true expanded nature. Help me access all means of knowing. I would know beyond my understanding. I would come into awareness of the wisdom my soul has gleaned over the eons. I wish, I desire, I allow myself to be guided by my own fourth and fifth dimensional aspects. And I allow the brightness of my soul at those levels, fifth and beyond, of unity to inform my physical body, this incarnation's mental body, and my emotional body of my true origin in the light. Because that is a resource to these denser bodies. And it's like saying to the ego and the conscious mind in every aspect of your personality self, I am here in the light of my soul, and I am here for you. I am of you, and you are of me. And when you feel really in that elevated state, if you do, you don't, that's fine. It's already been acknowledged, we come and go. But when you feel in that elevated state, create an anchor on your body. It might be your hand on your heart or touching yourself in a certain way. And you add that sense of that elevated state to the anchor. It's only if you're there. And whenever in our work today you feel you're there again, touch the anchor again. So you can start building this sense of anchoring that state. And when you need it, you touch the anchor and it helps you be there. So feeling that as your consciousness expands up, your soul's presence expands, we'll say down, but it's not like it's above you, it's everywhere. Your soul's presence expands down into you. You become a vessel for the light of your soul, for the consciousness of your being to serve you. And if there's something in particular you want to remember that your soul already has experienced, just say so. I call in from the light of my soul the most exalted skill sets for what I've come to do. The wisdom, the knowledge, the capacities to do what's my soul's path and my heart's desires. feel that the heart of your soul opens to the heart of your heart. And your grounding links that to the heart of earth. And through your soul to the heart of all that is. And know that whether you feel the exalted state in any moment, it's always there for every moment that you seek it. You exist on these other levels all the time. And sometimes you become aware of it. So the more that you court that awareness, the more you can be informed by wisdom beyond your understanding. And that's where the fun is. That's where the adventure is. The spiritual adventure of, I'm ready to know more than I know, to be more than I am, and to become all I was created to be. Blessed be. And just bless yourself, touch your body in a way that allows you to integrate what you just experienced into your body. You always want to keep bringing it to the incarnation. That's what wants to expand. Your soul's there. And then once again, let's connect with whatever wants to be available to you as we go into the next stage of allowing channeling. Does anyone want to just share a word or 3 or 4 about what you just experienced by way of anchoring it? We're known for having a way to get people out of their mind and then suggest they share.
The word titrating
Mm-hmm.
kept coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of this, I mean, I almost could have fallen asleep.
Mm-hmm.
But this beautiful both and of feeling the warmth of my hand on my thigh, and then feeling this like elevation,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like a filling up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of words, so
It's appropriate. So titrating, really titrating the light for what you need. And this is a good word also when you're sending light or healing to someone, is asking that their soul titrated to come in at the right level.
I experienced it coming and going, like being fully in really bright light and energy just moving within me, and then going someplace else in my mind. Like
Yep.
that's enough for now.
Yep. Yeah, those little governors. Don't get too bright. It scares people. Yeah. And you just keep doing it, and the governors finally let go. Mostly. Rhea?
I had an experience where I have a tendency to be hypervigilant with my thinking mind, and I had this sort of aha moment that my mind is there when I need it, and I wasn't processing with my mind, and there was just a lot of ease in my being with my mind aside, knowing that I could have it when I need it.
Beautiful. And there's the freedom that you named. That's freedom to me. Yeah. Okay. So now let's, whoever has a question, one person will ask a question, and the deeper it is, the better. And then everyone tune in and see if you're guided to channel through a response to the question. And sometimes it's a little challenging because you get the impetus to speak, but someone's speaking and you've kind of got to hold on to it. When we name you, try to drop back into it so you let it come through more than interpreting what you hear. And both are fine. I think more of psychics getting the message and interpreting it, and channeling more letting it come through, just having the courage to open your mouth and speak. And everything's welcome. So who has a question? Brianna?
Yeah, it's a question that came up in my journaling this morning, so I thought I would just bring it here, which is how can I best serve my non-white friends, brothers, and sisters during this next year with whatever emerges in our political and social world? How can I best use my resources and being and skills and God connection on behalf of their well-being?
So everyone tune in.
What does that look like?
Mm-hmm. When you feel guided, unmute or raise your hand and unmute.
Brianna, may I channel for you? Greetings, Brianna. It's a beautiful question that you ask, because part of your life's work is to notice the beauty in differences and bridge them. And when you notice what is beautiful in the other, you're witnessing that and you're speaking that has incredible power. So while you may feel the urge to do, and certainly there is space for doing, one thing that we want to point you to and not ignore is the witnessing of the beauty in the other with your whole heart. Does that resonate for you?
Very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Brianna. Um, what's coming is also about heart and mind, and a suggestion for you to consider the importance of sometimes, as much as possible, clearing the mind and resting in the heart. Um, there are that there's that the flow of ideas about what's good or bad or should or shouldn't um, be, or what action to take, has a real purpose and can also be distracting from at times a listening, just a listening to the heart in the moment, and a letting the heart and the moment uh, allow whatever is called forth from the moment. How does that land?
Yeah, that lands. Trusting that way. Yeah. Even though it might not look like I'm doing anything. Yeah. Thank you.
Laura?
Hello, Brianna. Such a beautiful question. And what comes through is very simple. And it's to ask your brothers and sisters how you can be with them. Tune into them and see what they need, and what their hearts need, and what kind of support they need, as opposed to trying to figure it out almost from an external place, like moving right to the source of your beautiful intention, and really tapping into their wisdom of what they need and what kind of support they need and what that looks like for them.
I love that. I love that so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect.
These these are feeling very clear as you're letting it come through each of the three of you. And we're curious about what's coming through. You know, it's kind of an introduction. Lou and Laura, both of you have almost like validating it's okay to say it. Um, And just to notice that, notice what that's about or what I'm hearing, what I'm getting, rather than offer it. And that's another step, that trust that just lets you start talking. Yeah. And a lot of clarity. Good. Anyone else? So maybe we're
I'm sorry, Evelina, are you asking for somebody else to see if they have a question or more channeling for Brianna? I'm not sure.
I'm seeing if anyone else is primed to channel because sometimes you're about ready to speak and getting the nerve. And if not, we'll go to a new question. It's like,
What I saw in the channeling was really basic, just baking. Your friends might from time to time need you to bake them something. I don't know, like I kind of get the sense like maybe there might be moms that are feeling overwhelmed and like presenting them with something like, you don't have to make dinner tonight, I took care of that for you. That's what I saw.
Thank you. I don't bake often, but I just baked a pie last night for a friend.
I think the integration of what we hear might be to really choose with your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something about beauty, choosing to put your resources, your energy toward solutions, things that increase beauty, that uplift. All right, so let's just clear the slates. Hmm. So, new question.
So I have a question for the group. I have finally got the courage up to commit to doing a TED Talk. And I would love to understand what is the message that is most yearning to come through me for this TED Talk.
My suspicion is that there's a way that your questions are quite broad. We'll see what what arrives, and if I were to receive that in a reading, I might say, "What are you passionate about talking about?" So, Rhea,
Um, my immediate response, and I'm not feeling this is channeled exactly, but Hannah, when you were speaking before about what you were passionate about, I felt electricity in my body when you were speaking about the power of presence, the transformation that you've seen and witnessed around that. So I just want to reflect that back to you. It was beautiful to feel that. And just hearing those words inspired me and reminded me how I want to live.
Allowing spirit to guide you, speak through you. Seeing what comes if you offer yourself as vessel. Brianna?
Hannah, I'm being guided to ask you a question, which is there a funny story where presence wasn't showing up and another one where it was?
Mm.
There's something humor. I'm getting humor,
Mm.
and I'm getting story, like a, yeah, because it could be a very abstract topic, but I'm sensing there's a great story somewhere that you have, and to tell that story. I don't know if that.
Yeah, that really resonates. Thank you.
Good.
Greetings, Hannah. It's about your story of going out and going in, about about finding balance between impacting the world and bringing presence to the world and bringing um, presence and love to yourself deeply into your heart. How was that received?
So I missed the first part of what you were saying. So is it the dance between presence and presence? Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, it's how do I um, how do I not lose myself as I bring presence to the world? How yeah, where am I? Where is my essence in all this?
Mm. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
Katrina?
I'm getting this image kind of a sort of a figure eight, and it's sort of spiraling to like presence with myself, and then while present with other, and sort of this looping my awareness to, because like we can, yeah, maybe we can only focus on one thing truly at a time. So somehow seeing this looping, and somehow helping people to know how to experience that for themselves so they can really, and I guess the deeper knowing of like, if I really have to be present with myself to be really truly present with other, but to not give up our presence with ourselves in order to do that. So something about this movement that resonates.
Yeah, thank you, Katrina. That definitely resonates. Actually, it's a tool in my last book. That right there. It's kind of an infinity tool in my last book.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Thanks, Lara. Thank you, Katrina.
That was my symbol that came up today.
Great.
So, Katrina, are you suggesting that she read her book?
Anyone else? Lisa?
All I got were a couple of words that I feel really compelled to share them. And it's leadership from within. And I don't know exactly, and I don't have to, but maybe you do.
Yeah, thank you. That really resonates. Thank you, Lisa.
Beautiful. See, when you have the courage to say it, then you find it fits. Yeah, beautiful. So is this complete?
Thank you.
Welcome. Let's clear the energy. Who else has a question they'd like to ask? Laura?
I'll ask a question. My question is around finances. I've been in this just enough place for a really long time, like just making enough money to get by. And I want to move through that because there's a giving back that feels like it's part of my purpose here. Philanthropy, humanitarian work, like I just want to be a funnel. I want it to come through me and I want it to go right back out. And I want to have more than just enough. And it's not from a greedy place of like hoarding all the resources. But what am I missing? Or if I'm missing, maybe that's all just perfect. But is there something that I'm missing in terms of being able to call in abundance and the wealth to be able to be free to give.
Hannah?
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Hannah. I just want to giggle.
I know, I do too.
It's very giggly.
So, yes, we absolutely love and adore your desire to give. It's so beautiful. And we also notice that there's a block that you have in your belief system about receiving. Like there is this thing that you don't want for yourself. We want you to have every and all treasure for yourself because you are so deserving of it. You are a treasure. So how can you not deserve this for you? And we sense that there is a part of you that doesn't believe that you deserve this for you, the full abundance for you.
Yeah. I don't feel like it feels greedy. It feels selfish. It feels kind of like, why me?
So be greedy and be selfish and dance in it, in greediness and selfishness and treasure all around you.
Okay.
Be in the joy of it.
Yeah,
because you have the power to manifest it joyfully. It's like taking a bubble bath in it.
I like that analogy.
Be in the sensuousness of it.
Mm. The word yin came up, like yin yang, but the yin of receiving.
Mm.
And I'm such a caretaker. And that's been my job. I had to caretake my mother, caretake the emotional stability of the family. Now I take care of women and families, humans. So yeah, thank you. That's a powerful message. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, Laura, we want to push you past your resistance to go there by pointing out that the giving that you want to do can't happen without the receiving. It's like breathing. You have to breathe in order to have something to breathe out. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you. The both and. That's very poignant. Yeah.
I just kept getting an image of a flower, and the flower, what the universe was trying to do was feed the flower so it could be bright yellow, and then the bright yellow would be enjoyed by everybody. And the flower kept saying, no, I don't want the bright yellow for me, I just want to give it.
Mm.
I don't want to have it, I just want to give it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a flower that wouldn't accept being its colors, and owning that its own yellowness or whatever the color is. That was the image I got. Like the flower kept sucking out the yellow, sucking out the color, and trying to trying to give it away without letting it sit in its petals.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like I'm afraid to stand in my own light. And that light is what's here to give. But I also get to bathe in that light as well.
Yeah, and the image I'm getting is that the light is already there. And it's already shining on you to make the yellow. And you keep going, no, I shouldn't have the yellow, I want them to have the yellow.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Brianna. I really like that image. I'm a visual person, so that's a beautiful image to rest with. Yeah, thank you.
Good. Katrina?
I have a little sense that, like, with the receiving of what kind of is coming through, like something, like when I feel into your field or your body, there's something in the field of sort of your solar plexus area. And that might be relating to, like when you were younger, like I'm getting maybe like 8 or 9. And I don't know if there's an event in your life then, or something that comes to mind for you that might have been poignant, but it feels like there's a connection around the being able to receive for yourself. And it's like if that somehow can be lifted out or freed up, so there's that flow, it would help you be able to receive. And I don't know if that resonates or if there's something that comes to mind for you, but that would be something I'm getting to maybe explore a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. Even as we're just sitting here over the last 20 minutes, there's one specific event that keeps popping into my mind that I'm feel like that's my next session with Evelina, is to work that. It's a little before that, but the 8 to 9 would be the kind of the couple of years after. And that's actually a time that I have no memory of my childhood, which is fairly old to me to not have memory. So I think, and for the last, since I've really been delving in, it's like, no, your solar plexus needs to be strong. Your solar plexus needs to be strong. Like that's the part of my body that keeps calling to me to address and be with and tend to. So yeah, thank you.
Laura, do you want more?
Open.
Okay, so I just got a flash of sort of this idea of an obligation to take the hard road, like that work must be suffering.
You guys.
So I'm just, the the alternative could be a lot of joy and delight in what you put yourself to, perhaps.
Thank you. Spot on. Yeah. My chiropractor always says to me, it doesn't have to be that hard. You don't have to make it that hard. Let it be easy. Find the ease. Yeah. Yeah.
And joy.
Joy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll circle that one.
May I share?
Please, Danya.
So I'm not sure exactly who's speaking, but it's a woman's voice. It's a very sweet voice, and I hear her saying, with a lot of sympathy towards the young girl in you. She says that this idea of wanting for yourself, you see it as being greedy, and her words are, this is a fallacy. And it's okay to want for yourself and to have for yourself. And what's the fallacy is that you have been made to believe that wanting this much is greedy. In a world where there are people that want this much and they're led to believe it's too little.
Mm.
And the other thing that came through was this idea of caretaker. And the caretaker has to care for themselves before they're giving energy out to the world, because that's how you get depleted. So embrace the greediness because it's not greedy at all.
Mm. Thank you, Danya. Yeah, that really also resonates. I'm wondering if my grandmother is out there. That's kind of what feels like my grandmother Evelyn, but it's possible not. But she's a pretty strong presence, and yeah, I mean, I'm steeped in the feeling like the greediness is not okay, like feeling that it's greedy and that I don't deserve it. There's just like a message that goes back since I was little, that somehow it's selfish or not okay for me to want and desire and get. There was often I was made to feel guilty for receiving, actually. It was almost like I was punished for receiving. So I think there's that just kind of clicked in. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
To briefly piggyback on those fallacies, you've been scammed.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to unscam myself.
Getting a really strong image and it won't go away, so I'm just going to say it, which is piles and piles and piles of Monopoly money, and you playing with it in your room. Like,
oh yeah.
Little girl self making piles for herself and like pouring it over your body. I don't know what the play is, but there's something playful with a lot of Monopoly money.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. I like that. I can just see it raining down on me. Bathing in it, getting in that bubble bath of money. Yeah, thank you. perfect.
So I'm being guided. This is a little weird. I'm being guided to ask Katrina to talk to Lara about and talk her through the block in her solar plexus. So I know, Katrina, you're like a hands-on person, but I'm being guided to ask you to practice your healing with your words and imagery rather than with your hands. Does that resonate for you at all? Is that something you want to do? I'm not sure.
Lara is open.
I'm open. There's a tiny little voice that's like, you're taking too much.
Mm.
You're taking up too much space. You're taking too much time, you know?
Yeah.
I was just thinking how fun this was getting.
You might have that tiny little voice and notice how everyone's engaged and really interested.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just noticed my computer needs to be plugged in, so I have to go grab my power supply. One sec.
I'll add one more thing while we're waiting. That the image of, I love the image of the Monopoly money, and in my image, the playing with the money was while being naked, and
Excellent. Yeah.
and that may just be my thing, but it may also be it may also be that there's a connection to your sensuality and sexuality in all of this.
I think there probably is. I mean, it's very sensual to receive, you know, and there's a feminine aspect to receiving. And I really had to shut down my femininity to be in my family unit. And so there's that whole other layer of the sensual and sexual reawakening that is present.
Mhm.
Thank you, Lou.
Welcome.
You guys are really great.
We're making you receive, Lara.
You're making me receive. And I know I have choice, and I'm willing. I'm wanting to receive. Mm-hmm. Pushing past that discomfort.
Good.
Beautiful. I want you just maybe let maybe if it feels right to close your eyes and just kind of closing, settling into your body. And then maybe if you want to invite like who you would like to be of support right now for you, kind of like you like see who comes to you, like a guide or divine mother, or you had mentioned your grandmother. See who might come to support you, and it could be more than one.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of see if they can surround you. Let me know when you have a feel that they're with you, or that being is with you.
I have 3 beings with me.
3 beings. So let them surround you, and then maybe also if you want to place your hands on your belly, or if that feels right. And then maybe ask if if they want to support you to go back in time, supporting your most, like, see what age you want to go back to, and maybe see if they show you a time frame or an experience of something that might have happened. Just let me know when you have a sense of an experience, or if there is a memory. If not, we can work with, just see if we just bring back that part of you.
I think it's not so much a memory, but a sensation that's showing up right now.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about the sensation. What does it feel like?
It's a sensation of self-hatred and a sense of really being disconnected from this part of my body and having learned to hate this part of my body.
So I want to ask for your guides to help you do this, and for there to be a support to begin to draw out and lift out the hatred and the shame. You might even visualize it as there's a color or a texture to it. And maybe even use your own hands to kind of see if you can actually pull out and gather up. Maybe I'm getting a sense of maybe even could be yarn or, or see what quality comes to you, and just sort of begin to pull out. And there may be some that's hiding, I'm seeing, like in your spine and between the organs, and just kind of keep lifting and asking for help from your guides and from, I'm getting Divine Mother to help.
She's here. She's one of the three.
Yes. So help her, let her help you, just to really fully release these layers of self-hatred. Also getting behind your back, kind of in the area of your kidneys, behind your solar plexus. So just kind of feel wherever maybe more. Do you have a sense of the quality of what it looks like, of what you're pulling out? Is it?
It's almost like smoke.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say tar, but it's not quite that thick. It's more, I don't know if effusive is the right word, but it's like it winds around. It's almost like endometriosis, but it's smoke, and it's dark gray, and it's almost like that nasty billowing smoke that comes out of factories.
Yes.
It's like that, and it just sort of like snakes around all of my insides, like around my spine, around my sacrum, my organs.
So feeling the movement of it, and then to see if you can actually start to gather it out in front of your body, and see if there is an opening where when it's ready to come out. And then we're going to ask for Divine Mother and your guides to kind of begin to lift it up and out, and sort of let it kind of, maybe it's trickling out or pouring out, but start, when it feels right, to let things to kind of come out and feel how it's all connected. So when it comes out, it's all coming out in one big drawn out whoosh. Take your time. And yeah, if there's any sound that wants to happen, I'm just asking your guides and Divine Mother to just help you to, so it's really that they can help you get everything out. It's as complete as it can be for today.
It doesn't want to leave, but
We're
it's
just going for as much to leave today as they can be, and take the time you need. So don't feel rushed by the fact that we're in a group here. You take the time you need. This is for you. And if it doesn't all leave at once, that this once the majority is gone, it doesn't have much foothold anymore. So it will, stuff may trickle out afterwards, but just see how that feels now. Maybe even assisted breathing it out with your breath out of your body, out of that opening.
Sorry, I don't really know why that happened. Sorry, anyway. It's an interruption to prevent it from coming out, but it's coming out.
That's right. Connecting back in and just picking right back up where you were. Just letting yourself settle back in.
I'll hold the image of that being lifted out.
You can support with your hands. You can even pull it out with your hands. The more tangible the visual, and then also just breathing with it. And then visualizing it lifting up in front of you and just being all the way up, lifted up and out and transformed into the light.
We want to complete in about a minute here.
Mm-hmm. It's right in front of me. It's like this big toxic fucking cloud. And it's just like my body wants the light that's here to replace it.
Yes, lifting it out first, and then we can fill you with all the filling, but making the space will really help. And just offering it up. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Breathing it out. Whew.
Great.
Sending out the little trickles of what's sort of the afterbirth, releasing it.
Beautiful.
Mm.
And letting me know when it feels like that's slowing down. We just want to spend just a little time when you feel like that part is complete, to just kind of allowing you to fill you up with kind of taking up that space.
Yeah, there's this like sweet, succulent space in between the viscera and the organs and the fascia and the muscles and bones and nerves. It's like they all feel free.
Yay.
Great, beautiful.
So we're going to need to complete.
Okay.
For our timing as a group.
Yeah.
So maybe when you're after this, if you want to take some time to fill yourself with some light of your choice, just to kind of really maybe some essential a color that works for you, or you can ask for your guides to help you pick just the perfect frequency. You really want to kind of fill up that space.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good job, Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
The guides and
challenge. Yes.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, there's just a beautiful golden, like rose gold light.
beautiful.
Great. So the mentoring we'd offer about your process here, Katrina, was first of all you were appointed to do it, and you found the way, which is beautiful. And over time, we feel you'll have more confidence, a little less of, and then you might try and you might, and just go ahead and guide it.
Mm-hmm.
And the places where you're saying, let me know when you get there, a shorter form might be, and how is that for you?
Mm-hmm.
What do you notice? So that there's not so much let me know, it's what do you notice? And then
Mm-hmm.
get that information.
A little more assertive and guiding. Mm-hmm.
Comes with practice, and you did a beautiful process
Mm.
That's
together.
very good feedback. Thank you.
And I also noticed with two or three of you that you've been channeling with your eyes closed. Pardon me. And the person's getting a little ahead of you. So you had your eyes closed while she was already offering it up
Mm-hmm.
and inviting her to offer it up. So you can feel into what's happening with your eyes closed, but you might also look sometimes, especially
Okay.
if you're inviting them to do movement. So you're tracking where they are.
Okay. That's really good.
We had not as much guidance in part today because what we were doing was really helping hold your channels strong into your being. And we would say there was some very exemplary work done today. Thank you. Beautiful. So let's do our commitments. What we like to do at this point is everyone write down 3 to 5 commitments of what you want to work on in your life in this week. And it can be personal. Some people want to go to the beach once a day, or it can be um, about marketing or about practicing anything you're learning here. What would be the commitments you want?
Evelina,
Yes.
I have to go.
Okay.
I'm being called to the birth. Thank you.
Your
Thank
birth?
you
Now
all.
that birth.
Yeah, perfect timing. And I'll put my commitments in the Facebook post. And so much love to you all. That was really beautiful.
Great.
I'll see you next week.
Hi, Laura.
Bless this baby coming in.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Talk soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Who needs more time? So we're going to share these, and then I'm asking you all to put them in the Facebook group. And the Facebook group is a place to comment about whatever's coming up for you. The more we share, I think the more we support each other. And so you can read each other's commitments and add some sparkles to them. The moment we commit, then the universe rearranges itself to support those commitments. So let's tell the universe what we're bringing through. So Lou, you're first.
Okay. My commitments are to practice channeling at least several times, if not more, this week, and to reach out to others to practice channeling with. Another is to reconnect to a home and henna since I've been away for the past week. And then to continue my consciousness practices of meditation and dance and staying connected to self and to spirit.
So can we add our affirmation and love?
Yes.
Mm.
Very, it's a very active dancing kind of love to receive.
Beautiful.
As I read these, they're a little, they might need some explanation, but I know what they mean, and I know we have others to give time to share. So I'm just going to say what came. The first one is to sit in my essence. The next one is unify my body to my soul. And those two might be the same thing, actually, as I think about it. And I know this kind of non-physical reality, and my commitment is to just be in that, exist in that more. And always, actually. So it's a learning curve, and just noticing when I'm not in that space and be there more. Thank you.
When our affirmation and love?
Please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Laura. Oh, Laura's birthing babies. Hannah.
Okay, so I have 4 commitments. First is to channel every day for myself and see whoever from this group wants to channel with me and practice more of that. So I'll be reaching out to you all, particularly the newcomers, to welcome you to our group. Second commitment is to write the TED Talk and try to see if I can channel it. That feels a little like, okay, exciting and also fearful. The third is to invite juicy presence into my daily life and being in that place. And then the fourth is to watch Evelina's talk.
Great. You ready for some love and affirmation? There you are. Lisa.
So I want more quiet. That's my goal, to have more quiet and less chatter from the television or media or things that don't serve me and don't belong. To practice the channeling and trust myself. I found myself going, when I had things I had to, I could have said. So I think that's, you just kind of get to come with practice. And to get clear about what I'm supposed to do and who I'm supposed to serve. Through meditation. That's it.
You ready for affirmation and love? Yes?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Beautiful. Tanya.
My first objective is to sit with my ancestors a little more frequently than I have been. Just talking more helps them to get on board with what I have going on. I have a goal to make my first YouTube video to promote my new chakra dance series. And I want to use more visualization. I make a commitment with myself to create a visualization of my success with this series, and I want to do that through sex magic and different tantra practices.
Great.
And I am complete.
Right. Ready for affirmation?
Yes, please. Thank you.
I'm aware of what a gift it is when people receive. Yeah. Katrina.
I want to create some more time for dancing and authentic movement this week, and spending time in addition to my meditation to really make some time to tuning into guidance and doing some journaling with it, like three times this week. I want to offer 2 distance healing treatments and more just create some sweet connection time with my partner, with Mike.
Great. You ready?
Yes.
Breathing in the yes. And Brianna.
First one is to witness and reflect back beauty with 3 friends this week. Second one is to ask my soul to come into my heart in service to others and to just sit in that and see what happens.
Nice.
At least once. And to sing every day. Some channel singing was happening when Katrina was working with Laura, and I'm going to just assume it didn't interfere with anything. And then the fourth I'm stealing, which is to watch Evelina's talk. I'm adding that to my list.
Great. You ready? Yay. Thank you all, beloveds. I think we've got a really good start. And be really kind with yourself around what you're learning. Allow a learning curve. So the more that you do, the more you'll be open to allowing more to come through. I want to ask, would you like to receive each other's emails and phone numbers so you can connect more easily about channeling? Is everyone okay with that?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll send those out. And you can do it also through the Facebook group. And please use the group. It can be really helpful. We put a lot of resources there. Everything that we've used for each of the three mentorship programs, Robin just put into your group, and they're under units. They came in as posts, but they'll stay under the units. And so spend some time enjoying some of those resources.
Evelina, when I got the email about your presentation, it took me to a page that didn't have information about how to access it, but it said put in your name and email and then click access, and then it said something would be sent. So there's an additional step somewhere that has to happen.
Oh, you didn't get something sent?
No.
Whoops.
So there's one more step that needs to happen.
And when did
What,
you
what
go?
what the page is doing now is it's asking people for their name and email, and then that something would be sent.
So you didn't get a link to go on the feminine. Okay.
I have to run all. Thank you so much. So lovely to meet everybody and see everybody.
I want to do one thing before we go. Before you go, if we can.
Okay.
Everyone take a moment and just release each other's energies because we've been feeling into each other's field. Let's go down through your chakras, let go of everyone else. Bring your energy back in. Yeah. And just pour yourself down your center. I think that's really important when you work on Zoom. You know, when we're reading each other, but even we're in each other's spaces, to take yourself back, come in. So you can go now, Rhea. Thank you. And I want to be complete. We went over a minute. Um, let's just do the Om to complete. And write me anything you wish, feedback about what occurred and what you wanted, what else. That'll feed into what we're doing. We're going to do Ah in the heart and then Om. Big breath. Let it all the way out. Ah. Big breath. And in the heart. Om. You're taking it up through the third eye and out the crown. Let's do one more. Om. Flowing right into your center. Thank you all. Bless you. I'll see you next week, and I'll be watching our Facebook page to respond. Thank you. You can unmute and say goodbye if you want.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye bye.